Good morning, dear students. So, today is our first physics class. You all have learned science till last academic year. This year also you have the science subject, but it is divided into three sub-subjects, that is physics, chemistry and biology. Now, chemistry and biology classes have already started. Today we are going to start our physics class with our first lesson in physics, heat. What do you mean by heat, children? Now, have you all gone out during summer season? Yes, during summer season, when you go out, the sun is quite hot. You can feel the heat of the sun, isn't it? Heat is a form of energy. Now, in today's class, we are going to learn what is heat, how to measure heat, etc. Now, what is heat? Heat is a form of energy. Now, this heat is the energy that gives us a sensation of whether the object is hot or cold. Now, for example, take a boiling cup of water and a cup of water which is kept in the fridge. When you touch the water, water is very hot, the other one is very cold. That is because of the difference of heat in each one. So that is why heat is called as a form of energy. Now we use heat in our day-to-day life. Now have you seen your mother washing the rice or wheat grains and drying them in the sunlight? Yes, the sunlight produces lot of heat. Due to this heat, the food grains, what your mother puts in the sunlight, gets dried up. Simple thing, your mother washes the clothes every day, right? Where does she put the clothes for drying up? She keeps it in the hot sun, or you put it in the dryer, isn't it? All these are due to the energy that is called as heat. Now moving on to the next slide. Now what is temperature? Now sometimes we say it's very hot, isn't it? Now especially when we go to North India or when we go to different desert regions and all, we feel very hot. We start sweating, isn't it? And usually we use this word temperature. Am I correct? We say the temperature is quite hot now. In the similar way, when we go to Ooty or Kunur, how do you feel? You feel very cold. And there we say the temperature is very cold. So we use this word temperature in our day-to-day life. Now let us see what is temperature. Temperature is nothing but the measure of the hotness or coldness of a body. Now how do we measure the temperature? Usually the temperature is measured by using an instrument called as thermometer. Have you heard of the term thermometer? Thermometer is the instrument used for measuring the temperature. Now this is how a thermometer looks like. Can you see this picture? You can see a picture wherein there are certain marks on the thermometer saying that 35, 37, 39, 41, and you can see a degree Celsius also, isn't it? This is the commonly used thermometer. Now there are different types of thermometer, children. The three different types of thermometer are clinical thermometer, maximum minimum thermometer and digital thermometer. Now this photograph shows you the laboratory thermometer, clinical thermometer and the digital thermometer. The maximum and minimum thermometer is not shown in this particular picture. Now laboratory thermometer is used in the labs for laboratory purposes. That is the first two pictures what you see here is the laboratory thermometer. The third picture what we see is the clinical thermometer, which is usually used to measure the body temperature, and it is used in your hospitals, clinics, etc. Digital thermometer is the latest thermometer wherein the digital reading of your temperature can be seen. So this is also commonly used in your hospitals and various other medical institutions. So did you understand what is thermometer? Thermometer is used to measure the hotness or coldness of a body. And not only that, there are various types of thermometer: laboratory thermometer, maximum minimum thermometer, clinical thermometer, and digital thermometer. I hope this part of the lesson is clear to you. Now moving on to the next slide. How do we measure the temperature? Now we learned about thermometer. Thermometer is used to measure the temperature of any body. Now how do we measure the temperature using the thermometer? Now we usually talk about the clinical thermometer. Clinical thermometer is a thermometer that measures our body temperature. Now when you have a fever, you go to doctor. What does the doctor do? Doctor uses a thermometer to measure the temperature of your body, isn't it? Does he ask you to open your mouth, and below your tongue does he keep the thermometer? Yes. And then after some time he measures the level of mercury in the thermometer, isn't it? That shows us what is the temperature of your body, isn't it? So today we are going to learn the parts of a clinical thermometer. What does a clinical thermometer have, and how do we read the temperature on a clinical thermometer? Now see children, this picture shows you the diagram of a clinical thermometer. Now towards the end, can you see a mercury bulb there? A bulb is seen. That is called as a mercury bulb. Usually all the thermometers have mercury in them. This mercury will raise. Can you see a small line, the column of mercury? And a glass stem also is there. Okay, the glass stem, inside the glass stem you have the column of mercury, and on this thermometer there are markings called as a scale. This scale in a clinical thermometer lies between 35 degree and 42 degree Celsius. Now usually this scale, when you keep the thermometer under your tongue or below your armpit, the mercury in the column rises, and when the mercury rises we can read the temperature from this thermometer, and that will be between 35 degrees Celsius and 42 degree Celsius. This is how a thermometer is built. Did you understand this part? Now moving further, how do we read a thermometer? Now there are certain steps to be followed by you before using the thermometer. First of all, you should wash the thermometer with an antiseptic solution. Then we have to shake the thermometer in such a way that the mercury level is always below 35 degrees Celsius. Then what do? We place the thermometer below the tongue for a minute. Then after a minute you take out the thermometer and read the mercury level or mercury column on the scale, and that will show you the body temperature. Now what is the normal body temperature of a human body? The normal temperature of a human body is usually 37 degree Celsius. The temperature of every person need not be 37 degree. It may be slightly higher or lower. Usually the normal thing what we take for the human body is 37 degrees Celsius, and it will not go above 42 degree Celsius. A person who is having temperature above 37 degrees Celsius can be considered as a person having fever. So this is what I had to tell you about today's class. So today we wind up in this by this normal body temperature. I hope you understood this chapter properly. So we started the lesson with what is heat, then we went through what is a thermometer, then I have explained to you the parts of a clinical thermometer, and now I have explained what is a normal body temperature. I hope this part of the chapter is clear, we will continue the next part of the lesson in my next class. Thank you, children.